So yeah, it is Sky Temple. That's going to be our next map, and you know, we start. I think this is our second most played Battlefield. I'll have to get the stats on that, but certainly very popular. Why do you think this is the second one we're going to, Wolf?
I mean, it's the map pick of Miracle,
right,
and they've been super focused on macro play overall, going back to the Dahaka pick, or Dahaka ban, I should say, from BlossoM. And this is also a map that can snowball and plays well to early game strengths of teams. So even though BlossoM has improved their late game, I think, significantly this season, it plays their strengths of grabbing the control of the first two shrines, leading into control of the map, getting that first, healing well down in the bot lane, getting 10 first, making a boss play. If everything goes according to plan for Miracle, this map and Cursed Hollow are some of their favorite maps to just continue to snowball things. As Rainer ban is worrisome, because it's like really falling out of popularity in first ban rotation, so it kind of feels like I didn't do my homework, like I don't even know what we should be banning here, let's just toss out the Rainer ban, it'll still work. Don't know about that one. We were talking about how Rainer was super broken in the first week of his availability, but as we saw in the next 2 days, especially with Genji's demise against Miracle, he was overhyped, shall we say, especially early in the draft.
Yeah, early draft Rainer is definitely not something. We even heard an interview. I think it was it Gon? I don't remember who the interview was with, but they said basically Rainer is not a first pick hero because it's too easy to draft comps that make him totally obsolete. So banning a first also is something that teams are starting to shy away from. But maybe just a little bit of antsiness from BlossoM. We don't want to give that away to Miracle.
Both of their bans went down to pretty much the end of the timer, and they will take the macro hero away here, the global Dahaka pick. But yeah, both of their ban timers went down to almost 0, which means I think that the frustration is starting to settle in. You're starting to feel like, okay, we had a good comp, we dominated the early game, but we made some bad choices in our draft. We made some bad choices into how we took our advantages in that first game. And you start to feel a little bit frustrated and scared when you go into one of Miracle's stronger maps. And this is such an important map because BlossoM has to win with a 3-0 or 3-1. So if they lose this map, they will not go to Eastern Clash. So this is like insanely tense for them right now. They have to win this map.
No, this is that moment. I mean, for Miracle, Sky Temple's only 50%. They're 2-2, I believe, on this map. So maybe not their best. Maybe that's something that works in BlossoM's favor. BlossoM are not drafting, you know, like the straight-up meta heroes, right? They're not going for Malfurion. They're not going for Urel or any of those. Not even a Blaze or anything. They definitely have a plan in mind here, but I'm not sure what to expect with these three picks in their draft.
The weird thing for BlossoM is they didn't pick Malfurion in this rotation.
Yeah.
So the Stukov ban comes through. Now BlossoM can't ban a support for Miracle because if they do, Miracle takes the remaining support, and the BlossoM has like no support options, right? So this feels really awkward. They draft themselves into the corner, I think, prioritizing the Anub'arak this highly. They choose to ban the Blaze because they've already got a solo laner, but now Miracle could take the Malfurion away. It leaves BlossoM with very few options with a Stukov ban here that pairs well with Anub'arak. Now you're thinking, do I have to play Rhaegar? Uh-oh, this is starting to get a little bit awkward in terms of support pools here on the side of BlossoM. You know, I mean, Meriday is one of historically the greatest support players of all time, but even he has limits in this meta. He will be given the opportunity to run the Malfurion, though, with the Alexstrasza pick coming in.
And I've really been loving Blue Beetle's Alexstrasza lately. It pairs super, super well with Judy. Just able to, you know, life bond himself into basic immortality. So the Urel pick also very solid. You know, with Blaze ban, that's kind of the next big go-to as far as solo lane is concerned. And we were talking about maybe being pinched on a support. They go with the Deckard this time, and yet it's going to be a Thrall coming through finally for BlossoM.
The Deckard pick is really good for Li Ming combos. You can set up a lot with Thrall's Sundering as well, so you can stay well listened into a Sundering while Li Ming's getting resets and blowing everybody up. Anub'arak is also the highest win rate hero that has a lot of games played. He has 20 games played and is sitting at a 70% win rate. That is insane. I don't know if we've ever had a hero with that high of a win rate, like, ever. Like, that is... Think about that. He is 70% and played 20 games. That is insanely high. Like, that means that he is dominating. 7 out of 10 games he's played, he wins, and he's played in 20 games. So that's a strong pick.
Stat. And it definitely kind of snuck up. I mean, that's higher win rate than Rainer in Hero League. to give some comparison.
Indeed.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy, and you know, it's not a you know, panacea. You don't just always want to have it, but it's certainly been paying off recently. For BlossoM, you know, this is their make or break game. Do they get to compete at the Eastern Clash? This is where we find out.
Indeed, let's head into Sky Temple, Game 2. Sniper's on his false stat, so that means that we're having, again, despite the fact that they denied Dahaka in both Game 1 and then later in the draft here in Game 2, they picked it early. Doesn't get to play that hero. They don't get to put Nitrogen up there in the kind of reins of the top lane in terms of a macro here. But Sniper still gets to play this hero. He's always been good. He's always been famous for. If you look at the map win rates here, like for the year, it's a really bad win rate for Miracle, in fact. But that's because it was old Miracle, where it was played a lot for them, and they failed against some of the stronger teams. But it is a map that plays well into their playstyle, their new playstyle. So that's why they pick it here. So the stats sometimes do kind of tell you, I think, a bit of a warped picture as to why someone will pick a map like this. But in this case, I think it's still the right map choice for Miracle.
Right. When I was quoting their Sky Temple stats, that's only for this part. So
yeah,
because a lot's changed really for both of these teams. Just vastly different rosters and performances. You really can't compare this to previous versions of these teams. So just to take a look at how things are starting out, where solo laners making their way away. So the 4v4 going BlossoM's way, and with the lead going to get the first kill. A trade kill, though, comes right back at you with Frankel able to grab that kill on a Numerak.
Yeah. I mean, this matchup is like, for Wiz, you're like, do I even exist? Like, am I even having a matchup?
No, you have a very bad day.
You know, it's bad up there, so that's going on at the same time. So that's a pretty big win for Miracle. They actually will take control of the Watchtower from this. Not too significant. I think people, especially my solo queue games, put too much emphasis on the control of the Watchtower on this map. It is important, but it's not something to throw your life away for, or to group up and do a 5v5 for when your comp can't win the 5v5. But I digress. The Watchtower is taken back. We're going to see continual trades here. The impact that Wiz can make on this hero is not going to be about the 1v1. It's going to be about the ability to rotate and get extra soak when your rel needs to be elsewhere. And that's going to be what this is kind of all about. For BlossoM, they got that opening kill. The game starts very similarly to how the previous game went. High CC into a very aggressive dive. But they were already traded out. They don't end up with a lead this time like they did last time. And in fact, they're a little bit late on the camp here. And with the rotation of Blue Beetle and Frankel up here, they're going to take a lot of damage.
I almost thought they were holding that camp for a while, because it just took them quite a while to take that one down. But this is going to be a very strong push for Miracle.
Dragon Queen even
survives, and yet Dragon Queen being used here is going to help against the wave of minions. It's now stuck behind this wall. And with another wave pushing in here for Miracle, they're going to set up for quite a while. Blue Beetle going in, Burrow Strike onto, or not, the Blue Beetle going in onto Blue Beetle.
Wiz trying to flank here. You know, he came from the bot lane. Sniper's still down there soaking, so this commitment needs to be... It needs to gain something. Okay, they do finally grab here onto Urel. So
that guy just takes a long
Urel's
time
just
to
like,
die.
I'm like, I was gonna be like, is he gonna die? I'm like, Nitrogen?
Yeah, taking five heroes, by the way. Eventually, Urel does know what mortality is.
I didn't want to call that one, you know, until it happened, but yeah.
Drain and I aren't quite that immortal, but taking her out, a big win, and it does kind of double quotes save that fort for now. But you know, this is Sky Temple, right? And in some ways, your structure health is your life bar in the game.
Yes, that's very, very true. That's a very good way to put it. It does kind of extend all the way to the core. The objective will do. But Sniper did, because he got all that extra soak, make this end up being a pretty even trade. They're going to trade these two temples about even. That will lead to a structural lead for BlossoM, because they did get that kill on Tyrell. It did force that respawn to come through. So BlossoM does end up getting that extra experience from the kill on the fort. But in terms of just experience soak and, you know, minion waves, I mean, it ends up being pretty even, right? The mid fort is also taking a lot more damage here for BlossoM. So really, you could see that experience lead is just because of the top fort. It's significant, but it's not as significant as it would have been if it was a bot fort going down, for example, or a healing well in the bottom lane going down. Those are the things that are going to matter a lot when we head into the next temple phase, where 10 is going to be a factor, where we're heading into a boss fight that can happen right after that. So small victories here for BlossoM. But if you're a BlossoM fan, don't get too excited yet, because this could still all turn on its head. They, at least this time, have a much better team fighting comp than last game, so even though they played the early game the same way, trying to make engages like this one happen, there's a lot more potential for the mid to late game to go well for them. So I don't want to be a downer on BlossoM, but I hope that this game's mid game goes a lot better for them than it did last time.
I mean, if you are watching HGC Korea and you really hope for games that are not 3-0s, you've probably been pretty disappointed this season. But lately, we've had quite a few 3-2s. The games have looked close. Really, every team is kind of stepping it up here. So I don't really know what to expect. I'm sure BlossoM feel the pressure. They know that their Eastern Clash life is on the line.
Yeah.
So this is where we get a chance to see what they're made of, right? Can they kick in when it counts? Because, I mean, that's right now.
That's where, you know, I mean, I don't know who said the original quote, but, like, I don't even know the full quote, but the kind of thing of, like, when times are tough, that's when you show your true character. That kind of idea, I think, is really what we're seeing here from BlossoM now. Like, when their backs are against the wall, like, can they perform with this new roster, with old veterans that have not really played the game competitively for a while, especially Merry Days had a lot more time off than Hong Kono. 10's around the corner here for both squads right now.
Yeah, really no level leads at all at really any point this game, so that hasn't been a big factor. Camp timings have been a little bit slower for BlossoM, but I think they're on parity right now. It is going to be about this bottom temple because there's only one, so this is where both teams are really going to fight. We could see with that level 10 coming up, and actually BlossoM is going to get that first. That could make a big difference when it comes to temple control.
Certainly is. 10's going to be up for Sniper here as he gets that mid-wall coming down here. He's actually on the fort now, getting that wave. They're about to have that 10. He can fly in, but so can Dahaka, of course, with his brush stock. So BlossoM's getting a lot of value on this. Miracle needs to be decisive now. Salvo's locked in. They've got their 10s. It is the Lifeliner. Sniper just barely does not get the fort. Not significant, though, because 10 is reached, and he can still engage. That's going to go down very shortly. Here comes a Sundering to start off the fight.
Yeah, Bro Strike on a Judy. He's actually going to commit into the back line. Has that avatar. He's going to be insanely tanky, and so nobody focusing him just yet. Honkono's actually the one that needs to kind of struggle to get back to the rest of his team. He goes down south and comes right back in, but this is going to be a temple for Miracle.
Yeah, very much controlled here. The end, at least, of the temple goes to Miracle. They had to commit the Dragon Queen. But BlossoM, they committed the Cocoon and the Sundering,
yeah,
and were unable to get anything from it. And that's a big warning sign, I think, of a team. It's a symptom, really, of coordination problems within the squad. In the early game, where these pushes are clearly planned, you know what lane matchups you're going to go into, you know where you're going to find these targets, you know where your soul laner that you're going to try to target is, or you know where the off laner that you're going to try to gank is. Those are things you can plan before you even get in game. But as we go into these fights where these engages become a little bit more freestyle, BlossoM's follow-up just feels very weak. After a decent Sundering into a Cocoon, they couldn't parlay that into anything, no kills. This team that's been so good at initiation all part long isn't able to make that happen against Miracle. That's where I start to get a little bit concerned about what the rest of this series is going to look like. That mid fort is still alive, by the way, with like one health.
Yeah, it has like basically one temple shot left on it, so it's essentially gone, but it's still XP that Miracles don't have yet. So I'm saving that one for later. The gummy put on your bedpost overnight.
I mean, that is like literally, it's got to be less
possible?
than 20 health.
Okay.
I mean, it was like probably like 1/4 of a false stat auto attack going down. I guess we can't see that in the Observer UI. Click on it. You could in-game click on it to see.
If somewhere Falstad
there we
uses
go.
a gust.
1 health! Literally 1 health.
No way. If Falstad uses a gust somewhere else on the map, the slight breeze is going to blow that over.
When Harrison Jones pops out in that little Easter egg that you could see on this map, like it just like when the movement he makes like actually kills it, and the experience just stolen away from Miracle.
Okay.
That experience belongs in a museum. I don't know.
If Thrall had taken Earthquake, that would definitely have knocked it down at some point. But either way, that'll be going down as soon as these next temples come up in just about 5 seconds. And I think this is really where we're going to see things differ. Last time it was only one temple, so both teams had to fight over the same objective.
We didn't even see it go down. What's going on, Observer? Come on.
I tell you, man. If you're in Korea and you're good at observing, no, I'm just kidding. But It's going to be a big deal here for BlossoM as they try to stop Miracle from taking more objectives. They're going to split these temples, but I mean, realistically, Miracle are totally happy with this.
BlossoM is focused again in this early game, or what was the early game, on kills, ganks, pressure on the map. They still lead in kills, but this is another one of those series that reminds everyone, I think, that kills do not make wins in this MOBA. They do not. The objective, doing damage on the map, macro play, those are the things that are going to get you ahead, and Miracle just continue to dominate in that regard. They got about, I'd say, like 1.3 to 1.4 of the two temples here. Ended up trading up super big. Honkono is in trouble.
Oh, wait.
I don't know about this play, Honkono.
Okay, it was a
They don't have any vision of where anyone is right now.
It was a sneaky move, but you're right. He's going to get outnumbered. A faster rotation down by Miracle to this temple. He's trying to save the last few shots, and yeah, I guess it is actually going to work. But I don't know if Miracle are too pressured by this. They are going to go for the engage here, and with a nice gust to kind of keep Judy out of trouble, the counter engage is going to go Miracle's way. We'll see if they want to commit to this, but it looks like they know Wiz is mobile. He's able to come in there. Sundering doesn't really hit a whole lot there.
Wiz is in trouble.
Wiz's flank is not something he's going to be too happy with. A warp back to the back. Dragon Queen committed, knocking on Kono back. And I don't actually know if BlossoM can sustain through this. The stay a while is going to try to buy them a little bit of time to run away, but run is all they can do.
Oh man, that was a really nice flank from Nitrogen as well, coming from behind, but they do look to escape. I think that Miracle, similarly, didn't have full vision either. They thought Honkono was trying to bait them. They actually trusted in Honkono more than I think they should have there, and they actually didn't really collapse on him. Then BlossoM had the nice jump on the engage, but again, starting off with good engages, but just not able to get the follow-up damage on the coordination is still just lacking from the squad that's only been working together now for like about 5 weeks, right? In professional play, that is to say. Now they're going to try to look for another initiation here with Honkono leading the charge. Nachogen's the target.
Huge burst on a Nachojin, and Blue Beetle can't save him in time. So that is a big pick by BlossoM, who are going to use this to try to push even farther and to steal this camp away and then go for it.
It was partially due to the fact that Deckard Cain had the heal denied there, you know, that's minus 75% that made it so that Blue Beetle couldn't really heal him, so he just disappears basically. And BlossoM will make the first big play of the series. In the late game, they finally get a boss.
Well, not only the boss, but we were kind of questioning whether or not Honkono's positioning, kind of hiding down there by that southern temple, was going to work out or not. It did. They did finish off the temple. They got the last few shots. They pushed all the way through that bottom fort. And now with this boss as well, I mean, BlossoM just made a big power play.
Yeah, they're not necessarily going to get this keep, but they should get this keep. They have the Siege Giants as well already working on this wall, so by the time the boss starts to even take damage, it's going to be... the wall's not going to last very long. So Miracle can either play this passively or they can look for a hard engage. Looking for the hard engage.
Yeah, poor Judy is going to get healed up quite a bit, but Sniper, excellent Gust coming in from behind, repositions to join the rest of his team. Cocoon is out there on a Muradin, trapping him in the back line, and now with the stay a while, it doesn't actually hit a whole lot. Maybe there is an opportunity for Miracle to go back in. Judy with a big jump in is maybe... Is he going to actually be able to do very much? I mean, I don't know.
That was a really, really cool engage for Miracle, but the cards were still stacked against him. The boss being such a huge factor here, it was hard to commit heavily. Sniper ends up dying, but his Gust was really well done. The huge moment was actually when Frankel's salvo was interrupted, because he was set up to hit the salvo onto the gusted targets, would have done so much damage. Then Nitrogen and Judy just block everyone from retreating. It was really beautiful to start off, but I believe it was actually interrupted by Anubrag. I think Honkono actually stopped that from going off, and so as a result, they don't get the big combo they were looking for. They don't get the damage. And at the end of the day, they save the keep. And where's Honkono?
What is...
That was a close call. It might not be over yet.
Yeah, I think he's actually dead, but this might... Okay, so Nitrogen realizes, hey, don't overcommit onto this. The rest of BlossoM is right there, and so they do back off. Honkono not punished. But my question is, how can you burrow through that? That's literally air, my man.
How does that work?
I don't know, man. Cost balance team, please. Turns out you can burrow through air. That's,
your body can also land on top of the invisible barrier there, I think. That exists.
All right, man.
It's coded as ground, I think. I don't know.
Air coded as ground, confirmed. I don't know about that. Sick grab onto Falstad, blown up before he even gets a chance to even, I don't know, do anything. Another sick pick, and that's 2 down for Miracle.
BlossoM is getting full control over this game now. It would be amazing if they could grab that bottom keep. They can't do it yet, but this top temple, I don't know why I wanted to call it a tower, this top temple may actually be able to do it. I don't know what the health of the top wall is right now, so that's going to be the deciding factor. It's going to be close. I don't think it's quite going to kill it, but it's going to put it very low. Getting a keep would be so huge for BlossoM right now, though, because it would really push the macro to their favor. It would give them catapults, which would give them more vision on the map. Okay, this is really aggressive what Miracle's trying to do with these camps. BlossoM is just leaving, you know, one member on the temple and then roaming.
I mean, Wiz, another big pick on the Blue Beetle. He is absolutely donezo. Frankel just desperately hoping his warp was going to get him back to safety in time, and it does, but this is just more of the same. Miracle keep getting caught out over and over again. Half of that's their fault, the other half is Wiz getting really, really great picks, and BlossoM, I mean, they're just exploding here in the late game. 15 minutes in, and it's just all BlossoM all the time.
Yeah, the other thing about Miracle, too, is they have an experience problem because the mid-wave, look at the mid-wave, it's like in BlossoM's base, so they can't even soak mids, they can only soak top and bottom. Soaking bottom is unrealistic given the bridge here, where you're going to find yourself caught if you go out there. And in the top lane, you know, I mean, Urel's up there, but that was mostly just because she got the temple. But you can't stop this keep from going down. This will be BlossoM getting a keep finally here at 1540 in the game. But how long do they stay here is the question. I don't think they can get more than this. A team like, you know, Gen G would look for the win here, but BlossoM is going to play it safe. They have a Sundering. They could commit. They decide to back away. Wiz, well, you're going to have Brush Attack in just a second. They have 20 now. This is where they want to fight.
Yeah, great job with getting them 20 by split soaking, as you know, Dahaka is going to be doing. Also, I mean, every time he's able to get that Brush Stalker in, his isolation's been on point. His drags have just been getting picks right and left. And Miracle, I don't know if that's just a lack of respect. They're always just a little bit too vulnerable. So they do need to change something. There's still time left, but on a map like Sky Temple, that time does run out.
Certainly does. You know, they need to, Miracle needs to find and engage without 20. And, you know, a lot of, I'd say middling teams across the world in HGC will never try to take a fight 18 versus 20, but sometimes you have to understand that, like, that's your only option. And we may see Miracle take that fight now. Look at Nitrogen, he's looking for the big jump in. He does get into the back line. He's getting burned down very quickly. We're going to have to probably see a gust here. Salvo committed.
That's a lot of damage combined with the gust, but I mean, that's too big heroics to use this early on. I mean, Sniper does get healed up a little bit. Dragon Queen coming out as well. Is there an opportunity now that Wiz is getting taken down very, very low? Judy low as well, even through Avatar. And BlossoM realize this is their exit queue. They will try to escape. See if Miracle want to chase them out.
Nitrogen getting slowed here. Will allow the retreat. Very well played by Miracle here. The one thing I have to question is the gust timing that did not allow the salvo to get all the extra bonus damage, but besides that, it was very well played. BlossoM couldn't even get the keep. They had to leave. They had to stay a while and listen to leave. They're going to get it from the temple, but the point still stands. They were able to make an incredible play without 20. The defensive setup there and the execution of pushing BlossoM out was very well done.
Right. I mean, if BlossoM take a big team fight win, that's just core right there. So
yeah. In fact, like right now, I think they have to go home. They see members on their core. They're going to get the boss, but they need the Hearth home like right now.
Yeah. No. This is. I'm actually kind of surprised that maybe Dahaka didn't go in to try to stop some.
Okay. They get the gust. They get the gust, and they can send multiple members home. This is actually Miracle saying like, I'm calling your bluff. Like, you're not actually able to kill the core right now. We still have bottom keep up, so we can buy some time, but they will have to fight.
Wiz might be in a little bit of a rough spot. He's going to be 1v3ing, but it's again leaving this core vulnerable.
Yeah, this
Modern
is GG,
and Merriday going in, and yeah, no matter how much Sniper wants to do here, he's not going to be able to save this core. BlossoM will do it. They're going to stay a while, and but not for too long. And that's a big win.
Tied up. The thing about that last moment for Miracle was they made a tough decision. They wanted to get the boss, and then they collapsed onto Wiz. But like I think they needed to really kind of split a little bit more. And as soon as BlossoM realized, like, oh, okay, they're actually going to commit to the boss, they sent people to the core. You can't defend members on your core and members on two different shrines unless you split literally, like, everybody into a situation where it's like, you put someone on to Wiz so at least he's not getting the shots, but you don't try to kill him. They instead try to kill him. So there's not enough people to deal with the top. There's not enough people to deal with the push onto the core. Like, it was more than a catch-22. There was just like no way out once they committed to the boss. I like the idea to say like, okay, we're gonna commit to the boss, then Hearth home. But some people need to stay, some people need the Hearth home. I think that in a situation like that, it's hard to play perfectly. And Miracle just, you know, they were too far behind. They ended up losing the map. We're tied up now, and BlossoM keeps their chance of Eastern Clash alive. They needed this win, and now they need 2 wins in a row. They cannot drop a single map for the rest of this series, or they will not play here in their home turf of Korea. First Eastern Clash announced to be in Incheon, so first Eastern Clash in Korea ever, first event in Korea since the Spring Global Championship.
Wow. So it's just been a while. Of course, it means a lot to Korean teams to be able to kind of defend this HGC Korea pride here on home soil. Specifically for BlossoM, it would be a big sort of kind of come from behind moment for them, because they recognize, you know, they have been climbing up from you know, lower than 4th place, and now this is their moment where finally at the last second they have the one game to play to qualify. And wow, you know, that has to be a lot of pressure. Definitely saw a little bit of shakiness sometimes from Hong Kono. He was getting a little bit of dicey situations, but always able to just barely stay alive. And BlossoM, when it came to late game, just really seemed like not only when it came to team fighting did they have that down, but that final moment where they're really just pulling Miracle apart in so many different directions, making it so that they can't defend every point where they're vulnerable. It's just like, I mean, that's some like big brain power right there.
Certainly was. I mean, the fact that they were able to get that early lead, then take nearly the bottom keep, then eventually get the bottom keep, then make a play for top keep, which was deflected. Do these things to understand, like, if we get these small pieces, like, there's no way we can lose the series, or lose the game, rather. We have 21st. They don't have that. They controlled experience very well. And Sniper had some shaky moments on the fall stud, let's be honest. But I think we also have to talk about the fact that when they tried to make that top key play, they couldn't do it. Like, there was some really rough engages. You know, I think for BlossoM here, you feel like relief. You've won this game. You've kept your chances alive to take the 3-1 score. But you're also kind of feeling like, whoa, we need this little break here to kind of calm down and get back in the zone. We are going to take a very short break. That's my transition. Hey, I know you gave me the face. We're going to take a short break, as will these two teams. When we come back, the rest of the series, we'll see you then.
있는 쪽이 이기죠. 그렇죠. 두 개가 있는데.